Breaking news right now at 5:30. Florida State University is suspending all fraternities and sororities after the alcohol-related death of this student, Andrew Coffey. The freshman pledge at Pi Kappa Phi died Friday following a party.
Authorities are investigating whether hazing at a fraternity played a role.
Groover was rushed from Phi Delta Theta's fraternity house to a hospital Wednesday night.
Forced to consume alcohol in excess during a drinking game.
In the past year alone, the lives of Matthew Ellis, Andrew Coffey, Maxwell Groover, and Timothy Piazza were all taken too soon. And why? All to join a brotherhood. And these aren't the only ones who have lost their lives due to the tradition of hazing in Greek life. Since 1970, there has been at least one hazing-related death on college campuses every year, but recent years have seen a drastic increase in deaths due to hazing. If there is even the slightest risk of hazing resulting in death, why do fraternities and sororities keep doing it? Hazing has been a traditional method of initiation in Greek life for decades, and although fraternities and sororities argue that it is an essential bonding experience, recent atrocities have sparked debate over whether or not hazing should continue. The ancient Greeks have given us so many of our modern-day necessities, including medicine, language, science, mathematics, and best of all, hazing. Yes, the Greeks really did invent hazing. Fast forward a few years, and the practice of hazing was used in the American military started during colonial times, but didn't reach college campuses until right after the Civil War. When war veterans began their schooling, they brought military hazing practices with them. In the military, hazing is used to discipline and to create a bond between soldiers, and while hazing on college campuses shares some similarities with military hazing, it has since been taken to a whole new level. The foundation of hazing is built upon promoting bonding between pledges, weeding out those who are less committed to the brotherhood than other pledges, and giving the pledges life skills, such as time management, the ability to cope, and a sense of accomplishment. To keep the tradition alive today, hazing in Greek life still promotes these aspects. However, the means of attaining them have taken a drastic and dangerous turn, often resulting in serious injury or even death. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of a frat? Is it the friendships, the community service, or the networking opportunities? Or is it something a little more like this? The prevalence of alcohol in Greek social life has influenced brothers to incorporate it into their hazing rituals. Hazing, especially when it involves alcohol, has caused harm despite the original intentions. Dangerous hazing happens everywhere, even in our own backyard. Penn State's own Timothy Piazza is a prime example of the dangers of hazing involving alcohol. Piazza was given 18 drinks in less than 90 minutes during a pledge event. This ritual is called the gauntlet, which is when pledges move to a series of drinking stations and are told to consume whatever they are given without question. Each pledge must drink an entire bottle of vodka, take a shot of vodka, shotgun a beer, drink a bag of wine, and chug one last cup of beer. One member of Piazza's pledge class told the police in the aftermath that each member completed the gauntlet within 2 minutes. Piazza had fallen down the stairs twice throughout the night due to his drunken state, with a BAC of at least .28. But his brothers did not call 911 until 12 hours after the first fall. He was pronounced dead at Hershey Medical Center at 1:23 a.m., less than 48 hours after this all began. Following the aftermath of Timothy Piazza, Penn State permanently banned Beta Theta Pi and debated what to do with the rest of Greek life to ensure that a tragedy like this would never happen again. Is this an accurate representation of Greek life, or was this just an extreme scenario? For if this was an accurate portrayal, would we still see so many people fighting to keep hazing on college campuses? Some schools have taken drastic measures as a means of fixing this problem with hazing. But does hazing really warrant the complete removal of Greek life, or should schools consider what they would be taking away from the students involved in Greek life? After all, so many people willingly accept hazing even if it is a risk to their health. From an outsider's perspective, it is easy to believe that the negatives outweigh the positives of hazing, but insiders would argue the opposite. One current brother who asked to be kept anonymous described hazing as the best worst thing you never want to do again. Pledges say that despite going through it, they wouldn't hesitate to haze new pledges in the coming years to keep their tradition and ensure that incoming pledges are just as committed as they were. The reason so many brothers argue that hazing is beneficial to the cohesiveness of the fraternity is because suffering through a traumatic experience together bonds pledges on a deeper level than they would be had they not gone through it. Having a close family-like relationship is attractive to students who are living away from home for the first time because they no longer have a very present support system. Members of fraternities say that they joined because they wanted people they could always count on, just like a real family. Within real families, siblings often test each other's limits on physical, mental, or emotional levels, and frat brothers do exactly that. New pledges look up to the older members just as younger brothers would look up to their older brothers. Naturally, older brothers are going to take advantage of their youngers, but at the end of the day, it results in a closer relationship. Clearly, there is a lot to consider when deciding should hazing be allowed on college campuses today. Hazing has come a long way from the practices performed in ancient Greece, but does that necessarily mean it's a bad thing? So what do you think? Are college campuses doing enough to end the cycle? Is it worth that one phone call that at least one family receives each year to tell them that their child has died due to hazing? As the frat brothers put it themselves, being hazed is the best, worst thing they'll never do again.